Hi, this is Steve Roy, author of the Killer Stand-Up Online course. In this video, I want to cover some of the basic elements that agents and comedy talent bookers look for when considering comedians for paid performances. First, let me start with this. For the purposes of this discussion, a comedy agent or talent booker can be anyone who is in the position to hire a comedian for a comedy show. This can include, but is not limited to, comedy club managers and owners, local talent agency representatives, and comedians who have set up and managed comedy rooms. I should also mention that comedy talent bookers almost always prefer to see a comedian perform live if possible, as opposed to reviewing a DVD or online video. With that said, here are the basic but most important aspects that comedy agents and talent bookers look for when considering a comedian for hire. The first thing is the comedian's ability to generate laughter throughout their stand-up comedy routine. A talent professional will instinctively make a note of the number of laughs and the intensity of the laughter a comedian generates during their stand-up comedy routine. The second thing a talent professional will look at is consistency as far as a comedian's stand-up comedy act goes. While there are always exceptions, I should mention at this point that most talent professionals won't usually make a decision to hire a comedian based on a single performance. And the reason for that is simple. They want to see if a comedian has significant impact and consistency with their stand-up comedy routine with a variety of audiences. Let me put this another way. A comedian could have one exceptional show where everything is in sync and the audience is great and the laughter response is tremendous, then have subsequent shows where the audience response is not so great. That's why agents and talent bookers usually want to see a comedian perform multiple times. The third thing a talent professional will consider is how much stand-up comedy time a comedian can do and still retain a high level of laughter response. The last thing I want to cover in this video is that talent professionals will look at the type of material a comedian is doing, specifically as it relates to the audiences an agent or talent booker is hiring for. In the comedy clubs and comedy club style one-nighters, this usually isn't much of a consideration because of the prevalence of adults-only material frequently delivered in these environments. Where the type of comedy material will be a consideration is in the performing environments outside the comedy club scene. There can be more subjective aspects of a comedian's act that a comedy agent or talent booker will take into account as they're reviewing comedians for hire. But what I have just presented covers the basic primary elements that almost all talent professionals look at when considering a comedian for hire. Let me also say this. Talent bookers of all varieties can be at any show at any particular time, including open mic shows. This is one of the reasons that I encourage comedians to be prepared to deliver a professional stand-up comedy performance no matter where they are performing, because you simply can never know who will be in the audience and who could offer a paid performing opportunity in the future. And the faster a comedian can develop and deliver a high-impact stand-up comedy routine, the faster they will attract the attention of agents and talent bookers.